learning a language and learning about a different culture can be beneficial in all kinds of different ways. I mean, I think research shows that learning a language will increase your earning potential over the course of your lifetime.
Language is a way for people to communicate, to express themselves. So a foreign language means another way of thinking, another way of putting your thoughts together, another way of expressing yourself.
The more you learn of another language, the more you're able to interact with other cultures, other individuals, and the more you're able to gain from the people that speak the language.
People in the job market are looking for people who can speak other languages. You become more of an asset that way because you can interact with more people.
To be able to say that I've studied Chinese it's a lot of work. So it looks really good to an employer to be able to say that I have committed myself to this language for 3 years and I'm still learning it, and just to be able to discuss that and the challenges that I've overcome while learning this language has been very beneficial.
Going the extra mile by learning a language, and maybe a language that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone that seems difficult, is something that really can differentiate you when you're looking for a job. So if you want to stand out, I would definitely recommend taking on the extra work and studying a language. Not only is it fun and rewarding, but it can really help you in the future as well.
The language department at Grand Valley, between having the language lab, they're awesome professors, so many things available to me. It really did directly affect how I became a teacher, the style of teacher I am, because so many of my professors, they didn't just teach grammar. No one wants to just study grammar all the time. They taught us about culture. We were able to see clips. We were able to go to the language lab and listen to music. We used, I don't know if you still can, but used to be able to get iPods, which was a novel in 2009. And we were able to really diversify our language learning. And as an extension of that, I bring those things to my classroom now.
I grew up in the west suburbs of Detroit, and so being around like a very diverse population all the time, particularly people from the Middle East, I was always fascinated with the language, the culture, the food, history.
You know, when you're a kid, you're growing up, you kind of live in your isolated community and your family, but to see that there's so much in the world and that the world is such a big place and different and yet awesome and great and fantastic at the same time, it changed everything about my life.
With globalization and internet, the world is becoming one community. So we know that other people exist, and they speak different language, that they live their own life, but at the same time it can be different and also similar, especially in today's age.
The biggest thing is finding people to communicate with. Language is at the base of any level of communication, any level of everyday life, and I think a lot of people take it for granted, but it's really cool when you can open that door to speak to somebody else, and also challenge yourself to think a little bit differently.
It's something that I'm glad I did because it allows me to put my language skills on paper, to say I have that major in German.
It's been a great experience so far, and there are a lot of great professors there. I found a lot of great mentorship in the Spanish department.
Just like an extension of becoming more self-aware. I think that's something that you really get from coming to university, moving away from home, even more so if you study abroad. It's just you're blind to how everyone else lives their life, and it makes you more diverse in the way that you can collaborate with people. Even if you come back to the US and you just stay in the US and you work with different cultures and different people from different backgrounds, it just helps you so much.
Learning a language is also very personal. It's a way to add value, I think, to your everyday life. I also think that once you learn a language, you never ever see the world in the same way again. You're always aware of two possibilities at least. Two options, two ways to see an issue, two ways to see a problem. And I think that's a very valuable skill, being able to understand what makes people think the way they do. I think that's probably one of the more valuable skills you learn when you learn a language.
Being exposed to the world and different cultures and different places makes you a better human being. And if you can, everybody knows what they think in their own little world. But if you understand your world, and you understand other people's worlds, and you understand what they have in common and how they overlap and how they want similar things, and it doesn't matter what your job is or what your role in life is or what your family is, you'll make the world a better place.